Cassie.
How did you get in? Give it back, please.
We have to talk.
This just about says it all. Get out.
If you just give me a chance to explain.
Lord Henry Layton requests the honor of your presence at the marriage of his daughter, Joanna Essex, to Mr. Robert Anthony Cornell. That just about explains it all, doesn't it, Robert? That is what your dear ladyship calls you, isn't it?
What she calls me doesn't matter. She's history. I am not marrying Joanna. I love you, Cassie.
But not enough to confide in me, not enough to trust me the way I trusted you.
Cassie, I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear how sorry you are. I just want you to leave me alone, please.
I am not leaving until I set the record straight. Cassie, come on. 5 minutes is all I ask. Then if you want me to leave, I will. But there's been too much love between us to have it end like this.
Oh. Oh.
Max, I love you so much.
Oh, my God, what have I done?
You know, I should have stayed with him last night. I never should have left him alone.
Oh, there was absolutely no way you could have prevented his collapse.
No, but at least I would have been there with him. Who knows how long he was out before Nigel came home and found him.
All right.
Oh, Larry, what's going on?
All right, he's conscious. He's weak, but you can go see him.
What happened? Was it his heart?
No, they ruled that out earlier, honey.
What's the problem, Larry?
It's the Danaride.
Is that what's causing his loss of memory, his confusion?
Yes.
Is he going to recover from this?
Yes, he will recover. But if it happens again, I can't make any promises that he's going to pull through.
Here's what you do when you don't find the rainbows in this time.
Hey, sir. Feel like having a little company?
You're always welcome, Vicky.
How you feeling, Pa?
I feel fine.
Well, you really gave us quite a scare.
Scared me too, Bo. What the hell happened to me?
Nigel found you unconscious on the floor. He called Vicky and Clint right after he called the ambulance.
You telling me my heart is acting up again?
No, the good doctor here says it's the effects of the drug in your system.
That's right. You're feeling the residual effects, Ace. I told you it could be a problem, remember?
Of course I remember that. I just figured maybe I could beat the odds.
You know, it was damn foolish to let Renee Devine beat the rap for drugging you. She's the reason you're here right now.
Can it, Bo? It's done. She's out of my life. Probably out of Landview by now.
The children send their love to you. They're too young to come and visit, but I expect they're going to spend the whole afternoon making cards to cheer you up.
Well, you bring them by the mansion later. You're fixing to let me loose today, aren't you, Doc?
No, you're going to spend the afternoon and the evening here. I'm sorry, Ace. I want to keep an eye on you.
How long? I don't like to be penned up in this place. Doc, you need any money for a wing or something? I mean, I'll write a check.
Hey, sir, shame on you.
Ace, you need medical attention. And when I'm satisfied that you're recovered sufficiently, believe me, I will release you.
Yeah, when's that gonna be?
I don't know. Let's take it one day at a time.
Well, let's say I'm leaving tomorrow, whether you like it or not. I have a lot of work to do, Doc.
Yes, so do I. I'll talk to you all later.
Asa, listen, why don't you take care of yourself? You let me take care of the company.
You've been doing a lot of work, Bo, and I'm not gonna give you that burden again.
Pa, Bo's right. You take it easy and get well. I was doing some thinking last night, and I've made a decision that I hope will make you happy.
Maybe you and I were too young and too immature when we married, but it didn't hurt any less when we got divorced. And remember, I was the one that wanted to get it back together. That's why I followed you to Europe. But when you came back to Landview, I thought that staying in Europe would take my mind off of you. Only everywhere I looked, everything I saw reminded me of you.
Including Joanna?
It was a year, maybe more, before I met her in London. Now, I was pretty much resolved to the fact that I would never see you again. So I went to a couple of parties with her, we had dinner together, and just sort of fell into a routine.
And so you fell in love with her?
She fell in love with me, and I learned to care for her But I can't say that I was ever passionate for her. I mean, we had a good time. We were comfortable with each other. But when she started talking about marriage, I just sort of got caught up in it, and I agreed to marry her. Then my father disappeared, and I came here to look for him. You were living with John. You told me you loved him, and I was more lonely than ever.
So you should have gone back to London then, back to Joanna.
I had to find out what had happened to my father. And then that night, at Mountain View, when we discovered my father's grave, in that horrible darkness and grief, you reached out to me. You held me. And I knew then that you still loved me. And I knew that I could never let you go again. It took a long time for you to admit your feelings for me, and I think mostly because you didn't want to hurt John. I didn't want to hurt Joanna either. I had these fantasies that she would be swept off her feet by some prince or count or whatever, and that she'd call me and say, "I'm sorry, Rob, I'm off to marry another man." Life isn't that simple, of course.
You wouldn't have had to tell me about Joanna at all then.
No. I would have told you. I never meant to deceive you. I went to London to break off the engagement with Joanna. Then I was coming home to you.
But you never got around to telling her, did you?
Yes, I did. The first time she kicked me out of the house, she was so angry. Then I talked to her again, and she accepted it. She even gave me back the ring. Now, I don't know what kind of number she pulled on you, but with John egging her on, I could just imagine. She is willful and spoiled enough as it is, but with little encouragement, she can't say I love you. And I'm not going to marry her. I'm so sorry that I hurt you. But you got to believe me, I love you more than life itself.
I want to believe that. But I really need some time by myself to think.
Yeah, I understand. I'm staying at the Holden Towers if you need to,
What the hell's the matter with me? I can't believe what we're doing to Steve. He's in a hospital bed with a coma, and we're acting like he's not alive, like you're not his wife. He was right about me. He was right. He said I'm selfish, I'm irresponsible. I was ready to punch him out for saying it, but he's right about it. I am selfish, I'm irresponsible.
I won't have you blaming yourself for what happened last night. I was very much a part of it, too.
Oh, I can't believe... I must have been zonked out of my head.
Max, you were drunk, but you were in control.
Yeah, until I came up here and lost control. Good old Max, always looking to have fun. Damn the consequences.
Is that all last night meant to you? A fun evening that ended up in bed. Damn it.
No. I feel so guilty, I can't even be honest with myself. The first time with you in Buenos Aires, I made love to a girl. But last night I remember making love with a woman. A beautiful, kind, gentle, loving woman. And if you weren't my brothers, what? But you are!
Max, what we did last night, it wasn't wrong.
What? Now you're the one that's kidding yourself.
Look, we're only human. We love Steve incredibly. We're so worried about the situation he's in. We're terrified he's gonna die. How many prayers have we prayed that have gone unanswered about his recovery? I'm going through guilt because I know he went to Arizona to make me happy. We sit by his bed and we hold his hand. But what about our own needs? God, we need comfort, and I found that in your arms last night. I wanted you to have the same in mine.
But we have no right. Don't you see that?
He gave us the right in his letter. Oh, he wishes the best for us. He wants us to be parents to Al. He also wants us to get on with the business of living. Isn't that what we were doing last night?
But Steve is not dead. That's what the difference is.
Larry said he could be in a coma for years. What are we supposed to do? Put our feelings on the back burner for however long it takes? Steve wouldn't want that. He couldn't want that. I'm sure he wouldn't think that we betrayed him.
Maybe not. But I have betrayed my own conscience, and that I will never do again. As long as Steve is alive, I want to be loyal to him. It's the only way I can live my life, Gabrielle. That's the only way.
You didn't need a near-death experience in the desert to understand a sense of family. You've always been a family man, Clint.
Well, to Vicky and the kids. But you and Bo are important too, Pa. And I've decided that it's about time I start honoring my responsibility to you. I've always looked on Buchanan Enterprises as a one-man band, namely you. And I've been content to leave it at that. But since I've been back, I've been noticing how Bo has been shouldering the workload, and I'm beginning to wonder just how long it's going to be before he collapses too.
Clint, come on, I'm okay, really. There's nothing to worry about.
Bo, I'm just wanting to lighten your load and help out.
You want to help run Buchanan Enterprises?
Yeah. Now, you're the boss, so it's up to you, of course, but if you need another hand, I'm available.
What about the banner?
Well, let's ask Vicky if she can handle it for a while by herself.
Oh, I think so, darling. I'm sure we can get along without you temporarily.
I'm sorry to spring it on you like this without any notice.
That's all right. I really should be able to handle just about any surprise by now.
Well, what do you say, Pa?
I say that is the best get-well gift a son could give to his pa.
I'm planning on this being temporary, you understand, just till you get back in fighting shape, which I don't expect will be all that long.
Welcome aboard, Clint.
Thanks, Pa. Well, what do you say?
Well, I'm really much obliged. I am. Do you want to take about a week to kind of tie things together there at the banner?
Frankly, I'd like to jump in right now.
Well, okay.
Your brother was never a guy to waste any time, even when he was a little cowpoke.
So, it looks like Pa's in pretty good hands right here. What do you say we mosey on over to the office and divvy up the work?
No time like the present. That's what I say. Pa, try to behave yourself, will you? I don't want any bad reports when we get back this afternoon.
You got my word, Bo.
See you later, Pa.
Okay, babe.
Love you.
Bye, honey. Love you.
You know, when two brothers get together, there is no fortress as strong as their common goal.
They are quite a pair.
Fine sons. Better than I deserve.
Oh, wait, sir. I don't want to hear that kind of talk.
Most people would agree that ruthless describes me better than deserving.
Well, that may characterize some of your business dealings, but certainly not the way you deal with your family.
Oh, Vicky, if that's one of those technicians looking for blood, I checked out.
Hello. Come on in.
Hi. How's your patient there, huh?
Who is it, Vicky?
Okay, this is Brenda McGillis. Brenda, this is Asa Buchanan.
Gillis.
Mm-hmm.
I know that name.
Well, Brenda was my nurse in Arizona, and her father and her brother were the people who took Clint in on their ranch for a while.
Well, I tell you, I'm very pleased to meet you, and I'm grateful for you and your family for taking care of mine.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. How are you feeling, sir?
I'm fine. I'm just fine.
Are you? Well, in your haste to get out of the house, you forgot this book.
Oh, how sweet of you to bring it by. Thank you.
I'm sorry to be staring at you, sir, but I just cannot get over how much you look like this man in our family album, Buck Buchanan. It's amazing.
Well, the resemblance is natural. Buck is my grandfather.
And he is the man from whom Asa inherited all his remarkable instincts for wheeling and dealing.
Right, Vicky and Clint were telling me a little bit about that McGillis and Buchanan history.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
When did you and Clint take interest in our ancestors?
Oh, well, we acquired that interest very recently.
Well, I've been a history buff for a long time, so if you ever want to share some stories, please do.
Honey, pull up a chair. Let's see what I can remember.
John, I'm sorry to bother you, but you see... Good heavens, what on earth happened to you?
Your fiance stopped by for a visit.
And you engaged in a brawl?
Well, not exactly. Well, I was caught off guard and I didn't really get a chance. It was not one of my finer moments.
Well, why was he so hostile?
It seemed Cassie waved your wedding invitation in his face and told him to get lost.
Oh, John, I'm so terribly sorry. I had no idea Robert possessed such a violent temper.
Yeah, neither did I. But his right hook sure surprised me.
You deserve a bonus for hazardous duty.
Well, I told you I don't want your money. But even if I did, I think you might think twice about paying me.
Why? Our goals have been realized. You said yourself that Cassie tossed him out.
Yeah, well, Rob's got a plan of his own. It seems that he doesn't want to give up getting Cassie back. I think he's determined, Joanna.
But you saw how devastated she was when she discovered how he deceived her. Will she take him back?
Would you?
Oh, dear. This isn't quite the simple task I assumed it would be.
No, I think maybe we both underestimated Rob's feelings for Cassie.
That's why he hasn't been in touch with me then. Oh, well, I'll just have to talk some sense into him. But I don't know where to reach him, do you?
Yeah, he was staying with Cassie. Actually, I don't know now. He's got a discotheque at the Holden Towers, a place called Stars. Maybe someone there knows.
I expect they will. I hope your abrasions heal quickly.
Quicker than my ego. But it's a small price to pay for getting Rob out of Cassie's life.
I'll do my best not to disappoint you.
You told me you were over Cassie.
Can I come in?
Sure.
I listened to your explanation, and I've given it a lot of thought. But I don't think that I can forgive you for keeping your engagement to Joanna a secret from me.
Cassie.
It's the same sort of thing that John did, Rob, and you went crazy. You even went so far as to dig up that Philadelphia newspaper with the article about John being an assistant DA to prove that he wasn't worthy of my trust. Now, how can I possibly trust you, especially after we promised we would always be honest with each other?
It's not that I wasn't honest. It was the timing.
You didn't tell me you had given a ring to another woman. That is not honest. Don't you see, if you had just confided in me, if you had been upfront with me, I could have worked out this whole thing with you. We could have worked on it together. But instead, you deceived me. You deceived me and Joanna.
I deceived myself. That was my first mistake. Once I realized that you and I were never going to be together again, I thought I could learn to love Joanna the way she loved me. But then when you and I got back together, I thought if I just told her that it was over between us, she'd accept it.
And wish you and me all the best.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, brother.
Cass, what I was trying to do was cause the least amount of pain for everybody. What wound up happening, of course, was I caused more pain. I wish I could take away all the mistakes. I can't. But there's got to be a way that we can work through this hurt and pain and build our lives back together.
We don't have a life together anymore.
I don't have a life without you.
Rob, please don't do this.
I can't stop fighting for our love. I know you still love me. That hasn't changed, has it?
No.
Then give me a chance to prove that you can trust me again. Give me a chance to make you happy. Oh, Cass.
I was very determined to be strong and realistic about this whole mess, but every time I think of my life without you,
we can start right now. Beginning right now. I've learned from my mistakes. And I promise to you, I will never hurt you again.
What about Joanna?
I'll make her understand, but I'm warning you, it's not going to be easy. She is spoiled and willful and determined.
So am I. So if she wants a fight, I'm gonna give it to her.
It was really a nice gesture you made at the hospital. I'm sure Asa appreciates it, but you don't have to do this, Clint. I've got everything under control here.
Bo, it is not an empty gesture. I really do want to help.
Yeah, but it's Vicky and the banner that needs your attention right now. It's not Buchanan Enterprises.
The paper is not a one-man organization. Now, we've delegated authority over there for quite some time. Pa hasn't learned to do that yet. Besides, I just don't like seeing you shoulder the whole load.
But it's really not that big a deal.
Bo, come on, you're exhausted. Now, I know the signs. You got a short temper, you a loss of appetite, you're frowning all the time.
Yeah, but that's just concern for Asa. And as it turns out, that concern was justified.
All right, fine. But with me helping you out here now, we're both going to have more time to spend with him. So, why don't you just fill me in on all the companies? You know, just a general rundown.
It's going to take you a whole month just to plow through all these files.
Oh, really? You whipped in here and picked it up pretty damn quick. Come on, what's the real reason you don't want me helping out? Huh? You worried I'm going to criticize how you've been running things? Is that it?
Oh, no.
Huh?
No, of course not. It just seems to me that it's a waste of your good time, but, okay. What the heck? Let's start with, Sanders Chemical. That's the division that Ace has really given the least amount of attention to, and we've got a lot of real angry stockholders who are making a whole lot of noise about the decline in profits.
Ah, might as well get my feet wet, right? Yeah. Oh, send her in. Elizabeth Sanders is here.
Damn.
Good afternoon, Bo. Oh, Clint. Hello.
Elizabeth?
We're very busy, Elizabeth. What do you want?
Well, I've just heard the terrible news that Asa was hospitalized last night.
Asa is feeling just fine. Sorry to disappoint you, but he's planning on living a very long and very happy life.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Elizabeth is just expressing her concern, Bo.
Yeah, sure she is. What else is on your mind, Elizabeth?
Well, I'm just concerned about Asa's health and happiness.
Well, sure. And we do appreciate your best wishes for a speedy recovery.
And will his recovery be speedy?
We do hope so. Yes, thanks for stopping by.
As a member of the board of directors of Sanders Chemical, I have an obligation to inquire about the company.
Clint and I are going to be working together to make sure that the company runs smoothly through Ace's absence.
Well, I'm willing to take over the reins, so to speak, while Asa convalesces.
Goodbye, Elizabeth.
Bo, when everyone believed that Clint had died in the desert, it was you yourself who suggested that I take over Sanders Chemical while Asa dealt with his grief.
And Asa thought that was a lousy idea then. He's going to think it's a lousy idea now.
The stockholders are not at all pleased with the performance of the company. They're very concerned about profits.
I just said Clint is going to be working with me. I'm sure he's going to come up with some good ideas that will appease those stockholders.
I ran the company for years, and each year declared a higher dividend than the previous one. Why not take advantage of my knowledge and experience?
Because that's not the way that Asa wants it.
So wait a minute. Frankly, Bo, I think it's a pretty good idea. And I think that we can convince Asa it's a good idea, too.
This organization was built from the ground up by Asa with blood and sweat. It's always been controlled by a Buchanan. It will always be controlled by a Buchanan.
We're not talking about the whole organization. We're just talking about Sanders Chemical.
Damn it. Clint, what the hell are you trying to do to us?
Excuse me, Max and Gabrielle not here?
I haven't seen them.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hi. How's it doing?
Stable, no change.
Where's Gabrielle?
I should be here soon.
Max, may I introduce our friend visiting from Arizona, Brenda McGillis. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Actually, Brenda is a nurse, and her specialty is neurological nursing. She specializes in coma patients.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Have you had any of your patients come out of coma?
Yeah, a few.
Any come Out after being comatose as long as Steve?
Oh, yeah. Vicky was telling me, Max, about how devoted you are to your brother, Steve.
Yeah, well,
And
thanks.
I just wanted to tell you that that's a real important thing for him right now, you know, that he has the people that love him behind him and pulling for him and not losing faith. You know, sometimes when a patient has been in a coma for a length of time, they just cease to exist as a person to them, you know?
Come in.
Rob, champagne and caviar?
Ah, the standard fare for a celebration of this magnitude, my dear.
Isn't it a little early for champagne?
It is never too early for champagne. Besides, for us, time is standing still.
I think maybe we're embarrassing the waiter a little here.
No problem. Call me if you need anything. I think we'll be just fine. Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
Those were your exact words. It's a small price to pay to get Rob out of Cassie's life.
But that doesn't mean I want her back in my life. I don't. Melinda, come on. Now listen, I thought I made my feelings clear to you last night.
John, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, I want to believe you, but every time I turn around, there's Cassie.
I've given her up.
Oh, you have? Then why did Rob tell me that you went to London just to make trouble for him? And why did you jump on a plane and come back to Llanview and leave me there all by myself? And why did Rob just punch you in the face? And why did that girl show up and talk about all these plans? Obviously, you've been making plans to get Rob out of Cassie's life so you can have her.
The plan is to get Rob out of Cassie's life so he can marry Joanna. She's his fiancée.
What?
Lady Layton is scheduled to marry Rob the end of this month.
Rob is supposed to marry Joanna?
Yes.
Well, how nice for you. How nice for you if Rob marries Joanna instead of Cassie.
Melinda, this has nothing to do with Cassie and me. Listen, the only reason I helped Joanna out is because I consider Cassie a friend. And I can't stand her getting taken in by that phony Rob Coronel.
Well, suppose she does marry Rob, then that leaves poor Cassie without a man in her life, doesn't it?
Poor Cassie without a man? That'll be the day. Look, she's gonna find a guy. She'll be very happy, and I'll be glad. I hope she is.
I want to believe you. I want to believe that all those things we did last night, we did because of me and not because you were missing Cassie.
Cassie who? Hey, you and I were the only two people there last night. Just the two of us.
Jarvis, Lady Joanna here. Put my father on, will you?
Darling, what a delightful surprise. I was just thinking about you. Have you made any plans to return soon?
I don't know when I'll leave Llanview, Daddy. I wish now I'd never come.
Joanna, what's the matter? You said everything was under control.
Oh, God, it's too humiliating even to repeat.
You can tell me, dear. What happened?
Daddy, I just saw Robert and his ex-wife in bed together, right here in the same hotel.
I hope you pulled yourself together long enough to give him a piece of your mind.
I was too devastated to do anything except run back to my room. Oh, Daddy, what am I going to do? Robert and I should be on a plane together on our way back to London, but that witch has him in her clutches.
Darling, try to stay calm.
Stay calm. My whole world is falling apart right in front of my eyes, and I have no recourse.
Joanna, take some tea. A sedative if you have one. And don't despair. I'll take care of the matter for you. Do you understand?
Daddy, there's nothing you can do now either.
You were always able to depend on me, dear. And this time is no different. Now get some rest. I'll ring you later. I love you.
There's a reason that Asa never wanted Elizabeth on the board at Sanders Chemicals. He doesn't trust her. I don't either, not for 1 minute. You know, you let a horse thief into your corral, you gotta be damn sure that he's gonna steal the horse.
Your analogy, although quaint, is hardly apt, Bo. I have no intention of stealing anything from your company.
What about Sanders Chemicals? You just gonna run that right into the ground, or are you gonna find a way to fleece that away from us?
The way Asa fleeced me.
He bought a sinking company that you were about to lose anyway.
He stole it right out from under me, like the robber baron he is.
Now, wait a minute. Let's just take it easy and discuss this rationally.
No, just butt out, Clint.
Do what?
Just let me handle this.
I got a stake in this, Bo. I'm gonna have my say.
All right, then why don't you help me give Elizabeth her walking papers? The one thing that would make Asa happy right now is to be able to put somebody in her seat on the board that he could trust.
He gave her the seat on the board in the first place because of her experience. She's gonna stay. Now, come on, Bo, use your head. Elizabeth can help us out by taking over temporarily and getting us out of this jam that we're in. And that will make Asa very happy.
He'll be happy if he still has a chemical company left.
My motive for offering my help is very simple. I don't want the company founded by my family to be ruined by neglect.
And I'm sure that Asa will agree with that.
Okay, I don't like this at all, but maybe you're right.
Well, there's one way to make sure. I can just hot-foot it over to the hospital and check it out with Asa.
No, let's not do that, okay? This is our decision. I don't think Asa should even know about it. Now, Clint, he's under enough stress right now. The least that we could do is let him recover in peace.
Then it's settled? Elizabeth, welcome aboard.
Elizabeth, one false move, one memo that I'm not copied on, anything sneaky from you, you're out.
I'm deeply appreciative of your confidence, Bo.
I said you could head up Sanders Chemicals. I never said that I trusted you.
Asking myself, how can two brothers be so different? What the hell happened, Steve? How come everything you do is right and everything I do ends up being wrong? Last night, I gotta tell you about last night. It was a betrayal. It was a plain and simple, it was a rotten betrayal. Steve, I made love with your wife. I didn't plan it. Gabrielle didn't plan it. It just happened. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was bombed out of my skull. Maybe it's because I really wanted it to happen. Steve, it was a horrible thing to do to you, but I want you to realize I wasn't trying to punish you. I wasn't trying to take your wife away. You may not believe me. You don't have any reason, really, to believe me. It never mattered that much to me. All that really mattered to me was just having a good time. Making love to pretty women, making money. Family and all that stuff you kept trying to shove down my throat, all that stuff we fought about. I understand what it means now. And I look at you, you're lying in bed day after day. Stevie, I want you back. I want you back so I can make up for all those fights. I want to make up for all those times I gave you a hard time. I want you back so I can tell you how much I love you. And I'm sorry I am for betraying you. Yes, I want you back so you can forgive me. But if you can, I don't blame you. But I do promise this, though.
It'll never happen again. You have my word on that. God, Steve, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't tickle me. Don't tickle me.
You want more champagne?
Your kisses are sweeter. What?
Your kisses are sweet, but I think the champagne's a little sweeter.
You.
What?
I just had a terrible thought.
No terrible thoughts in this bed, only good thoughts.
No, really. Will you get serious for a minute?
30 seconds, that's my limit.
Joanna.
Cassie.
Well, I'm sorry. I am worried about her. I'm worried what she's going to do next. She seems so persistent, so sure of getting her own way.
A little while ago, you were willing to match her determination and fight her. Did you change your mind?
No. But I just can't figure out why she would want to marry someone else knowing that he's not in love with her.
Joanna is not easy to explain, especially if you've never met anyone like her before. But I know how to deal with her, Cass. Trust me. I know how to handle her.
I do trust you. I have a great idea. Now, why would you stay in this boring hotel bed when I have a big, exciting bed at home?
I like that bed, too.
So move back in with me. Please.
You tuck me into it.
Good. I have another great idea, too. While you're checking out and packing, I'm going to go shopping, and I'm going to make us the best dinner we've ever had.
Can we eat it in bed?
Yeah, we can have dessert, too.
Ooh, you saw me seal the kiss.
Max, please don't be so hard on yourself.
How long were you there?
Long enough. I think Steve would understand. I think he would even forgive us.
Not so sure about that. Again, maybe he would. God, I don't know how I'd react if he betrayed me the same way.
You would forgive him if the circumstances were the same?
God, he can't hear what we're saying. When he recovers, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how.
Maybe we shouldn't tell him.
Maybe not. We'll just have to see. I gotta get some air.
I'll come with you.
No, look, I'll be right back, okay?
Max!
Gabrielle, look. I can't be with you right now, or anyone, right?
Please don't run away. Please stay and talk to me.
We've said about everything there is to say for now.
Don't shut out your feelings and don't push me away. It's too late for that.
It's not too late. It can't be too late for Steve. I made a promise to him. I made a promise, Gabrielle, to be loyal to him. I'm going to keep it.
All the miracles of modern medicine, they can't do a thing for Steve.
Modern medicine has kept him alive, Mr. Buchanan, and that is something.
Not if he has to spend the rest of his life in a coma.
Lisa, would you like me to run by your house, pick up pajamas or something?
No, call Nigel, have him bring something over.
Well, I'm glad to see the hospital's still standing. Evidently, you ladies have been successful in keeping the old man out of trouble.
Well, how are things going at the office?
Great. Couldn't be better. Bo and I got everything under control. There's not a thing to worry about.
And tell me, somebody tells me not to worry, ladies. That's when I worry.
Pa, don't worry. Bo's taking care of half the companies. I'm taking care of the other half.
You didn't bring any reports to go over, any files to ask me questions about?
No, you were going to take it easy and get well. My brother and I are going to take such good care of the business, you may want to stop working altogether. I'm serious, Pa. We are going to make you so proud.
Maybe there should be champagne.
Coffee's fine, my dear. Thank you.
You know, I have to take my hat off to you, Liz. I never realized you were such a wonderful actress. That was an award-winning performance you put on for Clint.
You're very kind.
No, I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, he's definitely the smartest one in the family. And to pull the wool over his eyes the way he did, I mean, that was just something else.
Well, my dear, if anyone deserves an award for today's matinee, it's you. You were quite extraordinary. After all, he knows very little about me, but you never cease to amaze me.
Well, as they say, ma'am, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah. It's for our success.
I'll drink to that.